Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Liverpool Connection podcast. I am one of your hosts, Daz, and I got Steve, as always, with me. And if you're just new to listening to the podcast for the first time, it's basically a podcast bringing guests on to talk about their Liverpool stories. And our guest today, chuffed that he's finally answered my text messages and all that good stuff. It's former professional footballer, England international, and played for, let's start, Blackpool, Macclesfield, Stockport, Rochdale, Bristol Rovers, Southampton, Liverpool, and then we'll stop there. It is the main man, Rickie Lambert.
Nice to meet you, Daz. Steve, thanks for having me on, fellas. Nice to meet you.
Very welcome. We're just going to get right into it, Dan. So at an early age, obviously, you love football. When did you, or is your dad a big football fan?
Yeah, he was a massive Liverpool fan. Well, still is.
So was he like, all right, me kid's pretty good at this?
Yeah, but obviously I was a nuisance around the house. My energy levels were off the chart, they've said. And obviously what I loved was, more than anything, was football. I just had to have a football at my feet at all times. And yeah, I was doing his head in until probably I was 8, I think, until he put me in a football team. And then I was kind of content then.
So growing up, were you always a striker?
Yes. Yeah, I started off, my first positions I played was like either right winger or striker.
And who was your idol? Who was the poster man? Who?
Johnny Barnes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it usually is. It's either like King Kenny or Barnesy. Yeah, it's one or the other. Unless you're a newbie.
Dad's, but John Barnes was mine.
Yeah. And then at 10 years old, Liverpool Academy, not bad.
Yes. Yeah. Amazing. When I got picked up at 10, it was incredible. The nurse trying to make sure you've done okay on the trials, and then getting picked up for Liverpool. It was brilliant.
So how many lads are usually, at the academy at that age?
At that age, I think in my age group, there was about 12, and then you would have like always a few, maybe a couple of younger ones or a few trialists, and but on average, about 12. Kev Nolan was in my age. Steve Warnock. My good friend Danny Coyd, who had a good career in Football League. But it was a good age group. At first, I was unbelievable. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And then as your body goes through that age of change, 13, 14, that's when I started to struggle, especially at that level. And that's when, not shortly afterwards, I got let go.
Yeah, and I want to, as I said before we started, like the mental health aspect can either go one way or the other. Either you thrive on it and you go, I'm not going to get down on this. I'm going to keep going as you did, or you can go down, the depression part of it. Yeah. So for you, being let go of, your boyhood team, how did that make you feel?
At that point in my life, what was I, 15? It was the darkest day in my life. I was crying in my bedroom. It was the end of the world for me. I thought my dream was to play football, but to play for Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
And when Liverpool said no, we're going to part ways, that it was kind of like, do I even want to play football? It didn't take me long for my love for football to come back, and then it was on to, okay, where can I go now, basically. And my friend who was with Liverpool with me, Danny Coyd, left a little bit earlier than me, and then went to Blackpool. So my first reaction was, can I come and train with you, Danny? And then that's obviously how my Blackpool day started off. But the first couple of days after getting let go by Liverpool was, yeah, obviously you don't know at that age, do you? You don't know what's coming, you just think that's the end. I think that's the end of your football career, especially when you get let go by the club that you love.
I knew that when I was 8. I was all right at footy, but not great. And my dad was a rugby fan. He didn't like football anyway, so he's like, so what? Yeah, I mean, today, with professionals as well, the mental health aspect, you've got, psychologists, psychiatrists looking after you and all that good stuff. But, at 15, that you're just starting your life as well. And then to be knocked down, it has to be tough. But me and Steve had David Fairclough on, and he told us, we asked him kind of the same question about the mental health, and he's like, well, back then we just got on with it. There was no crying, there was no nothing. You just went, get on with it. So it's so different now because footballers are treated, like gods to some people, but they're pampered, they're looked after, they're fed really well, and everything. If they need to talk to someone, there's somebody there. But back in the 70s, 80s, there wasn't. So you did just have to get on with it.
It was a lot more simple, like you said. It was. I think my dad spoke a few words to me when I was crying in my bedroom, put his arm around me and went, don't let them fuckers, basically, dictate to you whether you're good enough. You prove them wrong now. And I at the beginning, I can't even acknowledge him saying it, but it wasn't until a little bit later where I thought, you know what, I will try and prove them wrong. I will try and prove them wrong. And that was probably the moment where my mentality started to gain that kind of strength. Because throughout my career, one of the biggest motivators was trying to prove people wrong. And I think that stemmed originally from that moment of getting let go by Liverpool.
Well, it must have been crazy, to go to Blackpool, and who's the manager of Blackpool? Steve McMahon, another Liverpool great. So, how much did you learn from him?
It wasn't Steve McMahon, it was Nigel Worthington. And I done my whole YTS with Nigel Worthington as the manager, and he really loved me. And he was going to offer me a 2-year pro contract. It wasn't until the last 3 months of my YTS when Steve McMahon took over. Now, I was buzzing. My dad was buzzing. My dad loved him. It wasn't long before we both realised I wasn't for him. He just about gave me a month-to-month pro contract. And then 6 months into the pro contract, we parted ways. So, my dad still calls them all kinds, but I kind of understand where he was coming from. My ability was still up there with one of the best, but my professionalism just wasn't there. My fitness wasn't there. That side of my game just hadn't matured. My understanding, my dedication, that part wasn't there. But again, that was the second knockback in my career, and it was from a Liverpool man.
Yeah, I'm sure you used the word fuckers quite a few times. Said not again, you bastards. Steve, go ahead.
Hey, Ricky, thanks again for coming on. It's a pleasure to have you here. Listening to your stories, because my son, he's 14. And so they're in that age group, playing for one of the top youth clubs here in the area, you see the development of the kids. They happen at different stages, and you see that the kids, there's a good player in there, but they just don't have the time to allow them to develop physically and while they're trying to get results. So it's really I can look back into the past and what you're going through and just saying, yeah, because now when you get to be a full professional, you're the same size as everyone. You're bigger, fast, you're the same speed. But at that time, those coaches just don't seem to be able to have that kind of patience when it's between those teenage years, it seems like.
Yes, and because I would totally agree, and because especially when you're at a club like Liverpool, the competition is so fierce that they, like you said, they haven't got the time to wait for you to hopefully progress. So they have to go with someone else, because it's not as if they don't have abundance of talent in this city. The abundance is incredible for a city. So to be one of them 10, 12 at that age was something special. It's very hard to keep one of them places. And I got let go. But at Southampton, I got shown, I retired, they showed me around obviously the apprenticeship ideas and stuff like this. And they spoke to me about the cycles that kids go through, and which I thought was very interesting. And they said from 9 to 11, you have from 9 to 11, and then from obviously 12 to 15, these two spurts what kids go through. So like I had the early spurt. So when I was 10, 11, I was very much more advanced, much taller, much faster, much stronger. But then your next spurt, I don't know whether this is exactly right, but your next spurt is going to be slower than the rest, where the ones who have the first spurt slow, the second spurt will be bigger and faster. And it was very interesting seeing the data and the way they evaluate their players, because they do wait. Southampton do wait for players who they think technically is brilliant, but very small, very weak. They do wait, and because they've done research in the cycles of young footballers, and they know if they wait a certain amount of time, this kid will develop.
And that's very interesting. Just in my son's case, he's 14-year-old, he's 6'1", but he's always been the biggest person. So you have to kind of develop that. It's saying, okay, you're not always going to be the biggest person, so you have to develop other skills, and then you hope the smaller kids won't always be small, but we have to fight through this, right? And it's a fun part of youth football, is just to bring that all together, and it's interesting to see how different professional clubs treat their academy players and how their systems are different. And I guess it kind of shows just how at the first team, just how those players are developed, and then they're sold off to other teams as complete players instead of still a work in process.
Yes, no, I totally agree. And what you said before with the psychology side and the nutritional side, I mean, I could have only wished for that side when I was at that age, because that would have brought my game on so much quicker. I had to wait till I was in my mid-20s for my nutritional professionalism, that side to kind of come round to understanding how important it was. Because I used to like a beer, eat takeaways, and because I was scoring, I didn't think nothing of it. But when I was younger, my dad used to take me to the pub when I was 14, and I used to have a beer or a shandy, and that's what you done. I'm from Kirby, that's what you do in Kirby, and so that side I lacked. And if I could have had that side, especially when I was younger, that would have benefited me immensely.
So let me translate for people that aren't used to your Scouse accent. What Rickie's trying to say is that he does not have the six-pack like Mo Salah. So that's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, too many fish and chips and mushy peas.
That's it.
We're looking at your career, and you're obviously very successful, especially the Southampton years. Tell us a little bit about your experience there, and how were you surprised when Liverpool came calling and asking for your services?
My 5 years at Southampton was by far the best period of my career. It was the peak. I think I was leaving Bristol Rovers a more rounded human being. I moved away from Liverpool. I wasn't going out as much. I was ready for the step up. But what Southampton offered me was everything I needed and beyond. I mean, one of the biggest shocks to my system was playing in front of their fans, their stadium, and them taken to me. 30,000 fans in League One shouting my name. To me, that was everything I needed. And my career shot up like a rocket. And so did Southampton's. I think I was perfect for them at my time, and they was perfect for me for their time. And it was just a perfect marriage. And just to go up the leagues with them was a pleasure. And then to finally get into the Premier League after 3 years was beyond my wildest dreams. Incredible. And then to play 2 unbelievable seasons in the Premier League and then get the England call up. Mm-hmm. I was just on a crest of a wave. It was incredible. I think I was touching was turning to gold. It was just unbelievable when I look back. But I knew at the time it was special. I knew, I was like, this is incredible. And then to top it off, getting called up for the World Cup, and then Liverpool coming for you. And it was just like, wow. I actually had to sit down on the bed and go, what the fuck is going on here? It was just incredible, because even though I was very mentally strong, and I think I deserved everything I got and more, when Liverpool came in, it was like a realization of, wow, that mentality of trying to prove everyone wrong all the time. It was just a little bit of vindication that, wow, you can turn things around and you can get back to where you think that you belong. And it was just incredible. Like I said, a few years. It was incredible.
Well, basically, you've come full circle,
Mm-hmm.
But, who expects a call when you're like, you 31 or 32 then?
32, I think. Yeah. 32.
Who expects a call from Liverpool when you're 32? Who actually called you, by the way?
It was my agent rang me and said, we was preparing for the World Cup. So I had a couple of days off at home, and I think I got back late from a flight, and I was still in bed, and Thomas said, are you sitting up? And I went, go. And he went, Liverpool have come in for you, or are going to come in for you. So my first reaction was, fuck off.
Yeah.
And I went, no, seriously. So it was unbelievable joy at first, but then it was a feeling of, oh my word, I'm probably going to be leaving Southampton here. Now, at this moment, I thought I was going to be retiring at Southampton. I was going to retire, live in Southampton, and become a remaining figure at Southampton. And yeah, it was mixed emotions, but the overall riding feeling was, wow, my childhood club is coming for me. It was incredible.
It's interesting about that, because it was against type, right, for FSG to really go after you at that age and to give you that contract, because their track record shows that they don't normally do that. So that really had to have been a surprise at the time to bring you in under Brendan Rodgers.
Yes and no. When I first spoke to Brendan, because I didn't know what role, or I just knew I was, whatever club I went to, I was the main man. And if I wasn't the main man, I knew for a fact I would make sure I would be the main man. But I knew what type of players they had at Liverpool, so it was like kind of, okay, so what's going to happen here? So when Brendan spoke to me, he said, my first question was, is Louis staying? Luis Suarez, and he said, no, he's going, but we're bringing in Sanchez, and it'll be you, Sanchez, Sturridge, and I'll hopefully bring in one other. So I was like, right, okay. And I said, are you bringing me in to be backup? And he went, no, I'm bringing you in to compete. And he was brilliant. What he was saying to me, it was everything that I wished a Liverpool manager would say to me. So obviously I was going to join Liverpool anyway, but just hearing them words was reassuring. Louis left. Sanchez decided against the move to Liverpool at the last minute, and we obviously didn't get him. And then obviously we didn't in anyone of that caliber. We ended up bringing in Mario, and we brought Barini back as well.
Yeah, I think they brought in Origi too that year, right?
Yeah, I think Origi. I'm not sure Origi came in that summer. I think he came in maybe January.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, which again, when Origi came in, he was very young, very raw, but I thought he could be a decent player, this lad. I didn't know he would go on to score so many unbelievable goals for Liverpool. But yeah, no, yeah, that was the first reaction of, okay, Liverpool coming in for you. I've spoke to the manager. Yes, I'm going to sign, and that was the initial feelings.
It's funny because a lot of Liverpool supporters probably at the time were like, we're okay because, you are from Liverpool, right? Always seeing somebody come back to the team, a Scouser. But they were, I include myself, really scratching my head when Balotelli came in at the same time. And you have any stories about that? Because that guy's a little different.
He does.
Yes. I mean, when he first signed, even I was like, okay, well, why is he coming? I didn't understand that. I knew, I heard what everyone else had heard. But I was also at England with the Man City lads. So obviously I was asking what's he like. And yeah, the resounding thing that was coming back was his ability. His ability is not good enough for the way he acts in training and the way he doesn't put it in. That is a resounding response. What came back. So I was even thinking more, why on earth are we bringing him in then? So when he did come to Liverpool, and I've always said this, he is a lovely fella, lovely lad, very infectious, bit childish, but very infectious, very nice lad. But on the training pitch, he did lack in the intensity and professionalism what was needed at that level, which was a shock to me because obviously I've gone through the levels, and myself wasn't professional. That's why I didn't get to the top for so long, is because of my professionalism. So when I got to the pinnacle of my career, to not only be alongside someone like that who would train like that, but was also taking your position, it was a bit frustrating. But I've never any interview I've done, and I think it's been misquoted in an interview. My career at Liverpool did not work because Mario Balotelli walked in at Liverpool. My career did not work at Liverpool because I simply wasn't good enough. And when I did get the chances, I didn't take them. I didn't do what I've always done in my career and take the chance with both hands. I wasn't able to do that at Liverpool. And but you're asking me what Mario was like, and I can't lie.
You had mentioned earlier about the player matching the situation, right? And we look back at Brendan Rodgers, how he coaches. It just, I don't know if that system is the system that you would prefer as a player, the way that your track record shows it to be.
The way we played at Liverpool was the way they played the season before was some of the best football I've ever seen in my life. Now, what I wish I would have done a bit more, because I did do it. I wish I was strong enough and I would have said, listen, stop playing the ball, because they used to break the line, and then instead of crossing the ball, they would cut back and they would play round again and look for that perfect pass. And I wish I would have said, put the fucking ball in the box a little bit more. That's the one regret I do have, and that I didn't forcefully try and put my mark on the team and say, listen, if you want me to succeed or be some kind of success, you have to play to my strengths. And they were still trying to, I'll be honest, I seen that in quite a few of the lads, they were obviously devastated that they lost Louis. The whole squad was devastated. I think he was an infectious lad around the dressing room and on the training pitch, his mentality. And I think he was struggling with the loss of him. And I think that showed in training and in the games. I wasn't there to replace Louis. I simply wasn't. I was there to help Liverpool. But I think the lads seeing Louis go and me and Mario come in, it was probably a little bit disheartening for them. And I probably could see that a little bit, which probably might have affected my confidence as well.
Yeah, I mean, going from, the style that you had Sterling, Sturridge, Suarez, just, running around and scoring, and then taking that whole style away. And yeah, I would see that as being a shock to the system for a lot of the supporters at the time, and the players that were still there that seeing both. And now we have to kind of create a different style of play.
Yes. And he gave me a run of 6 games, and I thought I'd done well, to be honest. In the first 3-4 games, I thought I'd done well, scored 2, set up 1, and scored my first Champions League goal. And I thought, right, I'm up and running here. But I just didn't feel right. My normal ruthlessness in front of goal, my little burst of energy where I would be able to knock people off the ball. I just didn't feel right. I was obviously, like I said, I was 32. I made a massive mistake in pre-season where I went to the World Cup, and instead of having 4-6 weeks off, which Brendan gave me, I went back after 2 weeks because I wanted to be as fit as I could ever be, which I think it kind of went against me. And I was kind of feeling leggy by November, December. So that was a thing. I wish I would change, but it just wasn't to be with me at Liverpool. I wished more than anyone I could have turned it around, but when Brendan pulled me in, and he dropped me after the 6th game because my performance at home to Ludden's regrets, I think it was terrible. We were 1-0 down, and he brought me off at half time when we needed 2 goals to go through. So that just told me the confidence that he had in me, or the lack of confidence. And I kind of knew then it was, especially at a club like Liverpool, you don't get many second chances. And he pulled me in shortly after that and basically said, listen, Crystal Palace have come in for you. I think you should go in January because you're not going to play that much. Looking back, I should have went. But my love for the club and my own mentality, I honestly thought I could still turn it around at Liverpool. I thought, no, he will give me a chance again, and I will prove to him, and I will score the goals. And not prove to Brendan because he wanted me to succeed. It's not as if he didn't want me to succeed. proved to myself that I could be a Liverpool player. He ends up playing Sterling up top, and he changed the system to 3 at the back. And to be fair to him, it was great tactical move by him. I think we started to pick up the points and go up the league. And like, my respect for Sterling as a player was suddenly just shot up, because for a young lad, I think he was 18. I mean, he took on the role, which I couldn't believe how well he did, mate. He was unbelievable.
You know, we're talking about this. I want to kind of go backwards a little bit to your first time you're stepping out on the pitch at Anfield in a match, and kind of share with our viewers' experience then, growing up there in Liverpool and supporting the club all your life, and now here you are about to come into the game.
Amazing, mate. Absolutely incredible. I've been there obviously as a fan a few times, but yeah, it was the main one was Southampton. Believe it or not, Southampton. The first game home was Southampton. Can you believe that? And it was just incredible walking out. And it was a weird scenario for me, because I had a group of fans who absolutely loved and adored me, and were obviously we're left on. And then I'm playing for a club with fans who I've loved and adored all my life, and it was just an intense game to be a part of. It was incredible. And then the song "You'll Never Walk Alone" coming on, and being an actual player, and not just a fan, it was incredible. I ended up coming on with about 25 minutes to go, and that was my debut. And again, it was just incredible, mate. It was the couple of years, crest of a wave, and then playing for Liverpool, it was incredible.
And that season, if I'm not mistaken, that besides going through your situation, I believe that was Gerrard's last season with the club as well, right? That kind of was hanging over the team during that whole season.
Yes, I'm still shocked it was his last year. I thought Brendan could have found a place for him. Now, I know Stevie wanted to play, and not only did he want to play, he wants to play in the big games, and I think he was upset that he hadn't played or started in some of the bigger games that season. And Brendan and Stevie got on very well, but obviously something wasn't quite right, that Stevie didn't want to stay, or he was kind of made to feel he had to move somewhere else to get the game time. I'm not sure exactly why, but I was gutted and surprised that he ended up leaving the club. He should have stayed at the club until he retired, and then he should have become one of the coaches. Obviously, we all wish that was going to happen, but Stevie being Stevie, he's not going to be on the bench. Doesn't care what age he is. And rightfully so. He was still one of the best players in the league.
Mm-hmm.
It was a tough season, because the season before we lost out by a point to City. So I think that the whole fan base was just at a loss, because we came so close to winning the first time in a very long time. So that next season, it was just like a totally different Liverpool team that we seen before, and especially with like Danny Sturridge, most of the time he's injured, which he's a fantastic footballer when he's fit. But that's why I thought when Brendan brought you in, it was a different dimension for the team, to have a hitman, because we hadn't really had one in a while. And you gave your heart. I mean, every time I saw you play, you just got on with it. And I won't forget the Villa goal. You did that little shimmy around. I don't know who the defender was, but you did the little shimmy around him, and then you just inside the box, and then just hit it. That must have been great too. I mean, celebrating with the away fans.
I mean, I scored in the Champions League, scored my first goal, Crystal Palace, but for just emotion by itself, the goal against Villa was the best. I turned down Crystal Palace. I was sat on the bench for quite some time, and then I got that chance. I got the chance to come on against Villa, and I ended up putting it in the bottom corner, and it was brilliant to see the fans so close turn round, and I thought, there's one place I'm going here. I'm going to celebrate with my people, and it was brilliant to see all the lads joining in as well, and Lucas Leiva jumping over everyone. It was just some of the videos I've seen to this day. They pop up, and the lads put in the group. It was just an incredible day, incredible. And like I said, I wouldn't have got that if I went to Crystal Palace. I could have gone and played so many games for Crystal Palace, but I would never have had that moment. And when I first left Liverpool, I didn't really hold these moments in high regard. I just see my whole experience of Liverpool as a negative because it didn't work out, and I wanted to be a success, and because it wasn't a success, I didn't really look back on these memories as fond memories. But 3-4 years go by, and then you start to look back, and I mean, I've always been proud that I wore the Liverpool top, always. But now I'm starting to look back and think, oh my God, yeah, I did score for Liverpool. I did wear the Liverpool shirt, and I scored, and I ran to my fans, and I've got pictures, and it was incredible.
Even though it was a terrible away kit.
The yellow one.
Oh, like a canary.
Yeah, but I mean, no, that whole moment, to be honest, mate, going back on the coach, I was buzzing. It gave me a new lease of life to try and to get back in and stay around. And I did get a few more appearances, which again I will cherish for the rest of my life.
Well, not many people can say they've scored for the boyhood club, you know. I mean,
exactly.
You put that Liverpool shirt on. To me, that's just like a dream come true. You know, whether you play one game or you play 600, you've worn that Liverbird on your chest, and that's just amazing.
Yeah. No, mate, I totally agree. You can understand my feeling of disappointment. I've played hundreds of games. I scored hundreds of goals. And then I wanted to help my club by scoring even more goals. And it just didn't happen. So my disappointment, I think, is understandable. I think if I started my career at Liverpool and scored, and then then obviously it would have probably been different. But the disappointment did last a while, but it's no longer there. I just look back now with fond memory on my whole career, especially wearing the red shirt.
And I want to tell the viewers too, 2015, you were selected for the Football League Team of the Decade. I mean,
yeah. Again, I was totally shocked. I wasn't expecting it, and Team of the Decade, Football League. So again, an unbelievable achievement to take back. Obviously, most of my career was in the Football League. I had very brief moments in the light of the Premier League, and it was absolutely superb. But yeah, my majority of my career was in the Football League, so to get that award was an honour.
Yeah, it's a big pat on the back, like you've done a good job, lad.
Yeah, no, I got a couple of years later, I got the Tom Finney Award.
Yeah,
which was a lifetime achievement for being associated with the Football League. Now that I think that even topped in the Team of the Decade. To be honest, not many people get that award, so that was unbelievable to get that.
Since you're only in your 30s, I think still, so you can't rest on your laurels of your lifetime achievement awards. So tell us what Rickie Lambert is up to these days.
So yes, I got into property when I was playing. But lately I've been getting into the bars, restaurants, pubs with my friend, one of my close friends who's been in the business for 25 years, got me involved in that side. I think I've got about 6 now, which, well, he was doing well until COVID hit. Right. And now we're struggling to stay alive. But I'm enjoying that. But in the long term, I've done my B license. I'm taking my A license next year. I take an under 14s team, which is my boy Carter. It's his team, and I am enjoying that more than ever. I do think I have something to give and to give back to the game of football, and I do want to do it. My desire and hunger for the game is coming back by the day, and I can't wait to get involved in my next adventure, and hopefully that will be a coach, a assistant, or a manager of some sort in the Football League.
And do you ever participate in any of the Legends matches? Because I know like Neil Mellor and you know, Alan Kennedy, they live for those days, you know, that they go out and play in those Legends games.
No, I mean, I've played a few charity games, which again I do enjoy, but I've never played in the Legends. Never played in the Legends games. I play weekly for I've got a pub called Harrison's, and we're in a league, a Friday night league. So I play once a week on a Friday. I still love playing, mate. I think I'll be playing until the doctor tells me your knees fell off, you need to really think about stopping. Yeah, my back is in bits, like, but it's okay. I've got a bit more of a belly now as well, so it's
well, owning six pubs, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's I'm enjoying myself, mate. I'm a father of 3. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to Christmas, mate. I can't wait.
How was it though? You know, because you retired in 2017. Was it an easy choice? Did you just know like this is the right time?
When obviously when I look back on my career now, like I said, I'm very proud. But once I left Liverpool, my heart was my heart, it was in football, but it was, I mean, I left Southampton. I would never have left Southampton for anywhere. I still would have been there. And I was loved. Then I left to go to Liverpool, which obviously any kid in my shoes would have. Now I'm at West Brom, and as good as West Brom is, it's a great club and a great dressing room. I loved it. Obviously, I didn't enjoy the last 2-3 years of my career, which I'm gutted about. I'm gutted. I would have liked to have played a lot of football and scored a lot of goals, but I never have played. Not much at West Brom, and then I went down a level to play for Cardiff under Paul Trollope, again to play more games and score more goals. I managed to score a few goals, but Paul got sacked. Neil Warnock came in, and that was it. He basically said, "You're not for me. You won't be playing." And I was too old. I was thinking, I'm 35, almost 36. I'm not going out on loan. I almost joined Paul Cook, Wigan. And I just thought, no, that's me. That's me. I was taking epidurals in my back to train, because it would just sometimes the degeneration in my vertebrae at the bottom. He's not in between 2 of them. So I just thought, no, that's me. I don't want to be causing that much damage that I'll be struggling to walk when I'm 50. So
yeah, don't do that because I'm what am I, Daz, 54, and I have my steroid shot scheduled tomorrow for my back. Just years of footy, so yeah, you don't want to be there.
Exactly. So that was the main reason, and I was lucky enough as well. Like I was one of the lucky ones who were able to make the decision instead of being told. So to make 35, to play 701 games, it's beyond my wildest dreams.
Yeah, it'd be probably a lot worse being told, you're like an old cart horse, like that's it, you're done.
Well, I was told at Cardiff.
Cheeky bastards.
That's Neil Warnock for you.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a. But you know what? He told me straight. He didn't actually say damn word, but he just said, "Listen, you can't do what I want you to do, and I need you out of the club, basically." And that was it.
Sam. That's rough.
But it's better to have that conversation after 700 games than as a 16-year-old that you can't go any further, right? So,
without a doubt, and like I said, I feel blessed that I was able to play in a sport that I have adored every day of my life and played 700 games. So yeah, it was just an honor.
Well, it's crazy to think too, though, two of your Southampton teammates came to Liverpool as well, Lallana, and then the best defender in the world, Lovren,
Are you being sarcastic there?
Well, no, he said he was the best defender in the world, didn't he, Steve?
He did many times.
So, he did say.
Yeah. That's
no. I was very close. I was very good friends with both of them, especially Ads. I've gone through the league with Ads, so for him to join me, it was brilliant. And it was me. I was close to me, him, and Jordan Henderson. And it was, like I said, it was the great lad, Jordan Henderson. I knew he was going to go on and be as good as he was, because even then he was brilliant. But I knew he would be able to carry the armband after Stevie. A lot of people were questioning it, but I knew he was able to do it.
Yeah, still people question Henderson's. They're just like, he slows things down. He does, sideways and backwards. Because he's not flashy enough for some people. I'll tell you what, I think if you're at the match, you actually get to hear him. That's the only good thing I thought about during the pandemic, when we got to watch footy without fans. You could actually hear the players. Yeah. And Hendo was on it. Everyone, get over here. What you doing back there? Come on. And people watching the telly on a regular game with fans don't get to hear that. And same with off the pitch as well. Everybody has nothing bad to say about him.
No, he's a great lad, absolute great lad, and his personality, his desire to do well for the club. Though he doesn't put himself first, he would always put the club first, and he was a natural born leader, and so I was made up. He got the armband, and he did struggle for a few months after Stevie, like I think anyone would do. But then his confidence started to grow, and now you can see the player he is. And to see out of anyone lift that trophy, I would have loved to have seen Stevie, of course, but I was made up to see him lift them trophies. It was incredible. And now he's going to be remembered forever in Liverpool history. Yeah. So, made up for him.
Yeah, hopefully he lifts the trophy again, a few trophies. Whoever we play in the Champions League, God, that was a farce yesterday, wasn't it? Jesus Christ. How can you mess up? Huh?
Do you know what? It was just a weird couple of days. I never watched Formula One, but I thought, oh God, they're on the same point here. I watched that. I come away from that thinking, what on earth has gone on there?
Yeah.
Sure, not like that all the time. And then you think it's a bit better at football, and they do that. And it's just embarrassing, isn't it? And I was thinking we're going to get PSG. And
same.
And I would have still fancied us, but I mean, they beat Man City. Listen, I don't understand the ones who go, "Oh, you're going to play anyone all the time anyway." That's bullshit. You want to play the weaker teams as far and go, and then hopefully you play one of the top 3 teams once, or maybe twice if you're unlucky. That's what Man City get every season, and we never managed to get that route through. And I was made up when we got Salzburg, and then to get told, no, that's getting done again. And now we've got Inter Milan. I still obviously think we can beat them, but it's a lot harder task now.
Yeah, it is. Yes, Salzburg, I was like, yeah, all right. You know, especially the second legs at home. So I was like, man, we could rest some players.
Yeah,
you know? Inter Milan are no pushovers, though. But, you know, we've been to the San Siro with AC Milan, so I think we can take care of business.
Yeah, I just think it is going to be a bit more difficult than people think. Inzaghi's done, I think he's done well with them. I think defensively they're going to be hard to break down. But I still do think we'll get through. I'm just happy we didn't get Atletico Madrid or PSG. One of them two would have gone, that they're the worst we could have got.
Yeah, I'm just tired of looking at Simeone's face.
Yeah, not again.
I'm still devastated that he knocked us out that season. I honestly thought we were going to do the double, honestly.
Yeah, that was tough because, you know, leading 2-0 and then a brain fart by Adrian, you know, he even says it like he let the atmosphere get to him because you know, we were cruising and then he just did the mistake and then the whole team like folded like a flan in a cupboard, you know. So it wasn't just, you know, when players do make mistakes, like Adrian made a mistake when we played Villa last season, but was it his fault that seven goals got past him? No, it's a team sport. So everybody likes to use somebody as a scapegoat, and Adrian was, you know, that season's scapegoat. But no, I would have loved to be back in the Champions League with a very good, you know, like cup team. Like I want to get back to Wembley, to be honest, because we haven't been there in a very long time. League Cup, I don't care whether you call it the Mickey Mouse Cup. It's a cup. It's a trophy. You know, if we get to the final and we win, that's great. You know, Hendo will lift the trophy again. The FA Cup for me is what I want.
I totally agree. I mean, I love the FA Cup. That was the biggest game for me every season when I was in the lower leagues. It's just a magical cup. So I would love Liverpool. I mean, some of the best memories of Liverpool winning the FA Cup, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you mentioned FA Cup in the lower leagues. You know, what is your probably the standout match that you remember?
At Bristol Rovers, we went on a run. We got to the quarterfinals for a League One team. It was absolutely brilliant to be a part of. And one of the teams who we beat was Southampton. So it was that probably the standout game would have been Southampton at Bristol Rovers in the quarterfinals, and we beat them 1-0. It was I scored a free kick. It was brilliant. But it's just the whole day. When you're in League Two, League One, you're never on the TV. So when you're on the TV, not just like Sky, but like BBC One or ITV, it's like, wow, this is incredible. The amount of detail they go into as well. I just loved it. I absolutely loved everything about it. So when I got to like the Premier League, and then I'm playing for Southampton, and Mauricio's thinking about dropping me for the FA Cup, or Nigel Atkins, and I'm like, no, I want to play. And it's like, yeah, I'm getting rested, and I was like, wow, this is weird. Like my main game of the season, I'm getting like rested for. It was a weird turn of how it worked out, but I wouldn't have changed it for anything. It was amazing. I loved the FA Cup.
Yeah, it's great to go to the, you know, smaller clubs, the smaller stadiums, you know, just ram packed with their fans, you know, that are going nuts. And there's, you know, like 500, 600, you know, Scousers there as well. And just, it's great. I love the giant killing. I just do.
Yeah.
As long as it's not against Liverpool. You know, anybody else, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Love to see us back at Wembley. And where's the Champions League? St. Petersburg, right? This season. Yeah. So yeah, we'll be there, Wembley, and then you know, lifting the trophy, league trophy, hopefully.
Could only pick one, what would it be?
For me, league, the league again.
Yeah, league for me. I think just not being able to celebrate it after the last one, I think that's the one I'm looking for. Plus, you know, it is really epitomizes the best team, you know, after that long of a season. So I'll take any of them, man. I'll take any of the four. I just like yourself? To have a party.
What about yourself?
No, the league, but I mean, a lot closer is the Champions League as well. Normally, I would just easily say no, the league all day long, but I really want the Champions League as well. Really want the Champions League. That'll take us on 7, joint with AC Milan.
Right.
I think that would be unbelievable achievement. Unbelievable. But yeah, no, it's probably just edge the league because that put us on 20, same equal with Man United then as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, put them back in their place. Well, we already have this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a right mess, and I love it. And Agent Rafa, he's doing a great job, isn't he?
I know, mate. Honestly, when Ola got sacked, it was a sad day. It was a sad day, but he done a brilliant job. He just done good enough. Not too bad, but just not too good either. It was brilliant. So yeah, when they got sacked in, but with Everton, it's a touchy subject in this city at the minute, fellas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's got to be tough for Rafa. I mean, you know, he loves Liverpool. He still lives there on the Wirral. You know, his heart and soul's got to be Liverpool, but he's still a good manager. And Everton have a good manager. It's the upper levels have got the problem. They spent way too much money on shite, basically, and he's left with shit players. It's not really his fault. I think they need to at least give him another season or two, you know, to prove it. I mean, when you hear your own fans, the Evertonians, singing "You're a fat Spanish waiter," I mean, I'd just say fuck off. I would just fucking go fuck yourselves. Well, I wouldn't go to Everton, you know. I wouldn't manage or play for Everton anyway, but you know what I mean. It's just like if they're singing that to you, I'd just fucking throw the if you had a manager armband and fucking throw it on the floor.
He genuinely will think that he can turn the Evertonians around, and he still might. He might never turn down the most hardcore fans, like, but if anyone could do it, it is Rafa. His belief in himself is unbelievable. So he still thinks he's going to turn that situation around. I hope he does. I honestly hope he does. Because as much as I'm enjoying the Evertonians implode, I actually want the two clubs to be doing well. Mm-hmm. Especially with Rafa there. I always want Rafa to do well.
Well, I've always thought this too. It's really weird when you listen to fans going, "I wish Everton and like Man United got relegated," and I'm like, "Why?" Because when we play them, it's like it's full on. That's what you want, you know. And I don't understand. Yeah, I want Everton to do all right. You know, below us, obviously, they do all right. You know, for the city, because you know I've got some Evertonian mates. I wish I hadn't, but I do. You know, got some cousins that are Evertonian as well, but we'll keep that quiet. But you know, I don't want them to be miserable all the time. Like when I go back home and I see some of my mates that just, you know, they are bitter, you know.
Yeah. No, even they say that they're bitter. But I can understand it a little bit. I just, their stadium's getting built now, so hopefully they'll be on the ascendancy. Like you said, I would love Liverpool to finish first and Everton second. I would love that. I would love the city to be back on top like it used to be in the 80s. I would love that. Not more so.
Man, I think that's a good place to leave it.
You know, it's been our pleasure, Ricky, to have you here, man. It's you know, when we scheduled your show, I was looking forward to speaking to you, and thank you for spending your time with us.
No, it's a pleasure. I only apologize, Daz, that I took so long to get him. Yeah.
Don't worry, Daz doesn't care. He just
no, that pigeon didn't get to you in time, did it?
No, I apologize, mate. But no, I've enjoyed it. Thank you for getting me on, mate.